Off we go. Good morning or good afternoon and warm
Yes,
welcome. Warm welcome to our channel, Didier. Didier
my pleasure.
Weiss.
My pleasure. Didier Weiss.
Weiss.
Exactly. So it's
Like,
afternoon here because I'm in India and then you are in France,
yes,
in the beautiful city of Sète. That's how we got connected, actually, Luchana.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
when we are in France, we most of the time our base camp is in Montpellier, which is really very nearby. And that was the connection at the beginning, and now we are more connected. Fantastic.
yeah. Like we spoke the first time, there was this impulse when we came here to just look and search for like-minded people. If I say like-minded, I'm not
Yeah,
going to say
yeah,
something wrong, but people who are resonating with what is being shared on that channel, which is
yeah.
non-duality. So this is how I came across your name, your website, and we connect. And
Yeah.
many of people who are following our channel know probably that lately there are no interviews going on like that.
Hmm.
And here comes this impulse to sit with you and to explore a little bit. Are
My
you?
pleasure. My real pleasure. I don't have much material in English because I'm at the time I was sharing in English in India. There
Mhm.
was very little push to publish anything or record anything, and so the website and the YouTube channel is poor in English videos. For the French speaking people, it's much more full of stuff at many levels, whether on the website, text, blogs,
Mhm.
illustrations, and on the YouTube channel. So that's good. I have to refresh my English a little bit.
Wonderful. Your English is amazing. Far more better than my French.
No, it's fine. But it's my English is really you will see with time. It's based on the fact that I'm in India and I'm using the local vocabulary and the pronunciation and then so people often when they come from the US or from the UK they think I'm making fun of them by having with this very specific accent which is between French and Indian actually. That's where I learn my
Wonderful.
English.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Mm.
So usually I used to start interviews or conversation like that with a question about the story of the apparent character or whatever. But we both agree that it's not necessary to talk about the story of Didier. And if people who are watching this video are interested about that, they can find something on your website, I guess. I
Yes,
will I
yes,
will
yes.
put the description.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's start from here. Can you share why the story is not important?
Okay,
Or
that's
why the story it can be in the way of what we are looking, let's say.
yeah. I think that's the main point of this specific approach to non-duality, which is not trying to find an answer or a resolution in time, which is basically would be something happening to somebody. Whether it's somebody as a form of a body, of a mind, of a soul, whatever you name it. This historical unfolding, which is we call, our life in manifestation, actually is beautiful, but it's just an illustration of something that is out of time and out of space. And the pointer that we have within the message of non-duality is mainly about stopping to imagine that whatever is going to be the meeting of ourselves with ourselves, basically that's the ultimate goal. It's not going to happen in time. So the focus is going to be in a place which is nothing to do with a story of somebody or Didier going to do this. So basically, the first pointer is to say that Didier will never wake up because it's just an illustration, and an illustration cannot wake up really. What is waking up, if there is anything, it's not a thing, it's not an object. it's the pure subject that we are, and that's not something that happens in time really, because even though there is an event, we can talk about that might indicate a before and after. This event shows that it was always the case, and there is no real change. Actually, just life goes on, and that's the amazing part. So everything changes, nothing changes. That's always the package that's delivered at that time. So yes, there might be an event, but this event is pointing to something that is nothing to do with the character, with the Didier. There is no way to make the object that is there, the subject. It's going to be always an object, and when I say that, it's not something that makes it really irrelevant, small, uninteresting. It's beautiful. It's a celebration. The character Didier is celebrating all the time, and I can see you too, huh? Luchana.
somehow.
Yeah. So, but it's not. It's nothing to do with him, actually. That's the point. And that's the discovery is basically to actually to remove, and it's not something that we do. It happens through the context of the search, to remove all the ideas of a me doing this, doing that, deciding, getting this, getting that. Even the enlightenment is also, it's another story, actually, and it doesn't. As long as there is this kind of stories happening, presenting themselves, then the point is not reachable, because it's the attention is in time and in the future. So that means it suggests something that will never happen. It suggests that we are going to become what we are, but we already are. So the becoming is a kind of it's a derailing of the whole process. That's the thing.
Lovely to hear that. Yeah, I never heard. Maybe there is a friend which also avoiding to speak about the story, even though people are asking about the story of how this happened or how that happened. But I never heard explain it in such a
the thing is it comes a bit from the way my teacher, who was Ramesh Balsekar, maybe you know him from Mumbai.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, so I spent some 2-3 years in and out, obviously, with him, and he was very keen on dispelling this myth of somebody getting,
something.
a big prize, and so in this case, when I said, yeah, but what happened to me and this and that, and it was really putting back the focus on what is happening, what is right now available, and in the worst case, when I was really too difficult with him, he was just stopping everything, and he says, "Who wants to know? Who wants to know?" And then me, I want to know. Okay, show me the me that wants to know, and then when you have it, when you will show about what it is, I'll answer your questions. And obviously, I was never able to show this me. It was just an idea, actually. So, so he was really strong on not. Even his own story, I know inside out because of the time I spent with him, but he was really rarely talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. What is your feeling now towards Ramesh? I mean, what's the feeling there? What is your feeling towards Ramesh now?
Towards Ramesh, there is a lot of interesting mix of feelings actually with him. The first, obviously, is gratitude. That's obviously the number one, because every time I go to Bombay, now he passed away 10 years ago about. So, but every time I go to Bombay, if I'm in the area, I even manage to pass by into the small street in front of his place and just look at the building. And it was such a beautiful time, this satsang, these meetings there at that time. So there is a lot of gratitude. There is some, obviously there is a lot of peace because he delivered the message. He did his job, and I know it was not him; it was life delivering the message to itself.
And yet there is gratitude. There is
exactly,
gratitude to the apparent.
exactly, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it doesn't cancel the story. It refocuses the story where it is, but these kind of feelings of peace, of gratitude, of joy. I had also the really interesting feeling because I was looking at the situation. I remember recently I was in the taxi in Bombay, and then it's huge city, Bombay. I don't know if you know it. It's like 8 to 10 times Paris, actually.
Oh, wow.
So it's huge. And then I don't know how it's possible. That's the, kind of one of these events that don't make any sense. The taxi was going from point A to point B, and I was really stuck in the traffic jam. And I like to work with my computer in the taxi, so I don't waste too much time. And then suddenly I realized that the taxi was totally stuck for a long, long time in front of Ramesh's building, out of all the places I could be. You see. So I went out of the taxi and I looked at that situation. I was having this smell of the street, of the light, the people. Even I could recognize some of them, the small shops, the tea shop, the chai and everything. And I felt, wow, there was a sense of this story. This, even as a seeker at that time, it was so beautiful. It was it was already the heart of life. Okay, at that time, not knowing itself, but in a way, there was so much beauty into this story, and I felt really, tear of
joy and appreciation.
Yeah, joy. Looking at that, I said that was already there. That everything was part of it, and it was so beautiful. So it's funny because I have really this double thing, which is I'm never referring to him except today about my teacher told me this, told me that, blah blah blah. No, I just stand on my own concepts and way of formulating, and at the same time there's this beautiful connection. I put really thing like that with the specific expression and the way it's very different for each of us, the way it goes out, and for him it was really fitting. I mean, there was this resonance. That's how it works. If there is a resonance, that's the only way. If there is no resonance, there's nothing that can happen for sure. And there was this immense resonance with his formulation, and that's it. That was what a story! My gosh, that's really amazing.
Beautiful. So what would you say? Oh, if you, let's see how to put the question. If you would describe what awakening is, or what non-duality is, or what to awaken to non-duality, what would you? How would be, or what would be your definition of that?
Okay. Yeah, it's that's a kind of question I really make sure that I'm clarifying soon enough when I give propose workshops or meetings and stuff like that, because otherwise we talk, we blah blah blah, we don't know what we're talking about, and then everybody is dreaming about a different interpretation of this concept of awakening. And I really like to make it 100% not possible, but as clear as possible beforehand, before even we talk about anything else, so that at the end it all goes to this simplification, this clarity that is required. Otherwise, it's another story, and it can be very complicated. And so how do I define it? It's just I put it the other way. I just say it's the end of the activity of Maya. So if I use Maya, as a, it's not a goddess or something like that.
And
It's
not a thing. It's not a thing as a thing.
It's a process. It's a process at work. Okay. And this process is always telling the same story, but in different ways, not always the same way. But at the end, it says there is a me, individual, localized inside the body, inside the head, that is actually either in control or is the witness, or it's an inner side and there is an outer side, and all this representation. So that's the work of Maya, and this activity. Basically, that says it's a representation. It is helping in a way to live in society, and because everybody shares the same representation. That doesn't mean it's true, but it's practical.
Yeah, but it's so ingrained that rare we question that.
Exactly. So awakening is just the sometimes slow. I mean, step by step, gradually. But in my case, abrupt, very abrupt. In my case, and the end of the activity of Maya. That means this representation in terms of thought, beliefs, sensation, whatever, disappeared in a blink like that. And what was left was just life living itself directly. And it's not through Didier, through a body, through a mind, through anything. This conversation happens as life tasting itself from a specific angle, okay, but not through Didier. So there is no Didier talking to Luchana, really. It is just a single happening. The in between, I call that often when people are hostage. Maya was keeping hostage the story by telling so strongly there was somebody talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
And this disappeared, and that's it. So in two words, I mean, in few words, it's the end of the activity of Maya. And so then my whole focus is only on Maya. I'm a Maya specialist.
That's so sweet.
So I'm passionate about her. I mean, her or him. I don't know if you can say something like that.
Yeah, it's like illusion is in a feminine word. Also in Bulgarian, I guess in French is like that. It's a feminine. Yeah, illusion is a feminine. Yeah, really? Yeah. Is it like that?
Yeah, it's a feminine. It seems to be that Maya it's a feminine name. So it comes from the tradition from Advaita Vedanta, and that says that's the activity of the separation. And what says there are multiple things and multiple people and multiple subjects. Whether actually by this story, by stopping, reveals something that was always there, which is basically this unbroken, unfragmented, unseparated happening, which is life living itself. That's it.
Beautiful. Two things are coming now. First is Maya, as Maya. Usually when, at least when it was my experience, and also when I'm speaking with people, I often see that when we are close to that, a fear shows up, almost a terror, as if something really bad is going to happen.
Yes.
And the second thing is that there is misconception, probably an expectation, that once the Maya is seen through, the illusion is seen through, suddenly, miraculously, it will stop appearing. Like, it will stop appearing. I mean, okay, if you want, you can put a little bit light on the first part about the fear, and then we can talk about the...
Yeah, okay, first part first. The fear is, I like what you say, because it's really often the case. You're totally right, because it's there's a feeling of, actually the feeling of a death that is coming, and it seems very real.
Absolutely.
So death of me, that's horrible. Actually, technically, it's not the death of me, it's the death of the idea of me, which is a very different death. But until it's revealed as just an idea and not a real me, it is really frightening, obviously, you see. So, but Luchana, when it happens in communication, one-to-one, or or in workshops, I always make sure that it happens as much as possible, and I say that's just good news. That's
Yes,
just good news.
yes,
Because
yes,
if you're not terrorized, if you're not totally in fear from what I'm telling you, you didn't understand what I'm telling you. Actually, you have to, and it's so not always. It's true that some are a little bit more at peace with that. But most of the cases, they go through a short and sometimes a very long
yes,
period of fear, intense fear. And I'm always supporting, saying it's good news, because it means that it becomes real. It's not just a concept. It's just not
exactly.
philosophy about Advaita Vedanta. Yes, it seems that there is nobody here, but actually, as long as it's at that level, there is no mutation, no power into the words. So when the words get the power, when there is this sinking of the meaning of the words into actual realization, that maybe something is describing what's happening here, then the fear comes, and it's good news. It's very, very good news.
Mm. Like like we spoke last time, there is a deep longing and something as if it's something is pulling back. And then you said that this is Maya pulling back.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
there is deep longing. I want to show up. I want
yeah.
to see. And then no resistance. I'd better not go there. And
Yeah.
also that reminds me of French here. Someone taught him, some teacher, I don't remember the name, that fear is what keeps you, in brackets, alive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So obviously, the fear is not the end of the process. It's a mutation at work,
Exactly.
and beyond the fear, there might be something opposite, which is a kind of laughter. That's just
Yes.
saying, but that was a joke actually. I got totally terrorized by a skeleton under my bed, but it was not real actually.
Yeah,
It was just
exactly.
imaginary actually. So, but unless and until this point is reached, the fear is real. It can trigger a lot of emotions, tears. The body is shaken, is impacted, and sometimes even it goes further than that. I've seen now that I have a bit more experience with that, with this communication. I've seen very, very strange happening and events of people getting into all kind of trances and all kind of altered states. But it is all good news. Just needs to pass, and then at the other side, it's back to the ordinary, back to
Which I
the
would
daily
love
life,
to
and then
speak about that.
welcome home. Then that's it. You see, this whole story about
Yeah.
the search is over. Then, yeah.
Yeah. So for those folks who longed, and then there is fear, it's okay. It's good news, and it's good to have someone close when fear shows up.
Sure.
Something like to put a mirror, to stay
Yes.
as a mirror in
Yes.
front, just to not be, because it can be overwhelmed. But even though, like you said, I love that it's just emotions, and they pass. They pass.
Yeah. But true, and I'm not considering that there is nothing to do about the fear. Not to put it under the carpet and say, "Oh, forget about that." No.
Yeah,
We're staying with the fear, but together, and and also I'm just saying, look. I've been through. It's like a haunted castle. You see, I've been through. There is a outside door. We know each other enough. You can trust me. I'm not saying to believe, but I just trust, and then go through it, and then we'll see together what's on the other side.
Yeah, and on the other side, you mentioned ordinariness. I like that word. Chop wood, carry water, like ordinary. There is
yes.
It's ordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's on the other side?
Just food and water. You're right. But on the other side is the whole dream of spirituality that's gone actually, because spirit compared to what else? Either we say there is only spirit, or we say, well, if there is only spirit, even the word disappears. There is nothing.
Yeah.
There is just this, and every concept about anything around that becomes a little bit moot. I mean, there is no point of in talking about that again and again and again. It's funny. We had recently a meeting in Paris, in Montmartre, in a beautiful area. We were four, not teacher, but communicating about nonduality. So we met it was beautiful time in this summer, and it was a beautiful meeting. So we were the outdoors, on the terrace, drinking wine, eating, talking, and we spent like 4 or 5 hours together. It was really beautiful time. We never ever spoke one single word of non-duality.
Exactly. This is my point. Yeah. When it is lived, it's everything is non-duality. You don't have to.
Yes.
You don't have to expose that or constantly saying like something. There is no you. The world is not separate. There is no world. Whatever. Yeah,
Who says that?
Yeah. In a way, it's all become like that. I even noticed with our relatives. With in a way, it is coming again like this. Recognizing whatever without putting a label. This is non-duality. This is what.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Obviously, the words, the non-dual words, as a tool, comes back in our conversation today, and every time there is
a focus. Yeah, it is a focus.
It is contextual. In the context of a communication about that, the words come back, and then they try to describe something. But the point is not to keep the word as it's the truth. It's not. Ramesh was always starting the satsang saying, everything I'm going to say today is not the truth. So you imagine the guys that came, the seeker of truth, you see, and they got really blasted, and some they were leaving the room actually.
Of course they will leave. Yeah.
So, but what he meant really is that if you try to cherish these words, to remember them, to make sense of them, to try to to learn and to you're on the menu. You're not really on the on what's happening.
Yeah, you're not eating food. Just
yes, exactly. So forget about. I mean, not first use the words, and when they have been used properly, they disappear, and what is revealed is what is real, and not a story about what is real.
Yeah, exactly. Feel just such a deep resonance with that. I'm just checking. Oh, okay. We have maybe 1 or 2 questions to explore. Are you having fun?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you, Luchana, every time there's a conversation about that, it's always fun. It brings a big smile immediately, because it is obviously something absolutely light and in both sense of the term, light, weight and lightening, which gives some beautiful perspective. Yeah.
So you mentioned that mainly in French things are happening now in India, not in India, online as well. But yeah, can you say something more about that if you want? You're inviting. Okay. You can invite people who are watching that video to join some of these meetings if they speak French.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I've been okay. First thing to know, and I think it's not a rule. It's just what happened in my life. After this awakening, I can call it like that. That was sudden in my very precisely. I can put it to the second. So it's and then it was a before and after, but not really for Didier as such. It was just life knowing itself, and then I tried to communicate that for a few days, weeks, maybe, to my friends here in India, and then I mean, and it didn't work actually. It was really, it's like they looked at me, they say, "My poor Didier, you're really like maybe you should."
You need a psychiatric.
Yeah, exactly, Luchana, exactly. But it didn't bother me actually, because I knew it was beyond negotiation and beyond, discussion and okay, are you sure? No, that was so I realized that maybe it was not supposed to be talked about, and then that's what happened actually for many years, maybe almost 10 years. I didn't talk about non-duality to anybody, very rarely, and so it was a kind of a diet in a way. You see, this not immediately jumping into the concept, the words, and everything like that. And they're having this life settling in a different way, reorganizing itself in some ways, and maybe some simplification also. And then I'm not going to tell the whole story, but by contextual, I started talking about that in English in India. And then the group became bigger and bigger and bigger. So that was interesting because we had meetings every 3 weeks about, and then I started communicating by email, by online, etc. So, but it was all in English, and some meeting in Tiruvannamalai, because that's a bit the mecca of non-duality, no?
I've heard about that. I never went there.
That's the boss. I call that Ramana Maharshi.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I didn't think, Luchana, that there was any interest in France about that. And then it's only very recently, like 4 or 5 years ago, that somebody called me and they said, "Don't you want to have a?" It was an online recording, like it is now, in French. Then it was like, wow, that's let's try that. Also, a book got published in French also in the meantime, and then I got invited in France, and then there was really a whole mutation to the French language, which was not that easy actually, because the English language is very precise in many ways, much more than French, which is for this specific topic a bit vague in some areas. So anyway, long story short, now it's really back to almost 100% French. Even here in India, we have workshops happening, and the people come from France, from French-speaking countries around the world. And then, so I stopped almost totally this conversation in English. Also, because we have the platform to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because in India, there's this thing that is very strong, and it's in one way very beautiful. There is this bhakti type of approach, which is devotional,
yes.
and in a way that can be very powerful. I don't doubt it. But at the same time, in most of the cases, it becomes a kind of commercial transaction.
I see.
I'll do this, I'll do that, my japa, my mantras, whatever. Or
and
even I'll read the scripture to get something. And any attempt to understand what it is about, for me, for this so-called individual, is bound to failure, obviously. So I can see that in India it's very strong, and all the meetings were trying to we don't go there, back to now, we don't go there, back to now. So it was really a tiring exercise. But I thought it was always like that. But coming to France, the funny thing is that it felt very easy to present the non-dual concepts, because there was very little of this type of commercial transaction. I come if I get something out of it.
Yeah.
It was much more direct in a way. So I felt really much more fitting, actually, the
I see.
Obviously, because I'm from French origin, the European mind maybe, and in that way it was easier. So that's why I just shifted everything to French, and for the time being, except today.
Yeah, it is flowing like that. It is flowing like that. Like we spoke, I think the last time. Yeah, we spoke that probably it is coming this type of mentality. I don't know. It is mentality or behaving. It is coming from lacking, and maybe the French or the European people, let's say, the social minimum is okay. I mean, people feel content in a way.
Yeah, they have been.
Yeah,
They have
but
explored that. They
still
have explored already that.
yeah.
They are past the okay, I'll get more something, because they not all, but most of us kind of are not fooled anymore by the sense of having more and more and more and more.
Exactly. But
And
still, there
maybe,
is this feeling that something is missing.
yeah,
And
for sure,
that's
for
why
sure.
the search starts.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So that's it. So I feel really also grateful to have this opportunity to be in France, and so we commute with Cecilia, with my wife, and we have a lot of meetings, different formats, just an evening, a full day, sometimes a weekend, sometimes a full week. So the funny thing, talking about the workshops, the funny thing is that obviously what we already are. So there is no time involved into that. So why do we need a week? That's the thing.
Exactly. Many folks are asking that. Why then do something? Why?
Exactly.
Why not just sitting on the couch like that?
Yes,
Looking
exactly.
at the sea, looking at the lake or whatever?
That's a possibility. That's a possibility. But Luchana, statistically, it's not
like that.
very good. So what is this doing if it's we are already what we are? This doing is just the undoing. It's just the deconstruction, the neti in the Advaita Vedanta tradition, that is deprogramming these habits of the language, grammar, of talking about me or about myself, about so basically these habits have been built up the whole life. So it took many years to get this sense of that makes sense, to go out of that, which is the activity of Maya, because as I said, that's the only thing we can look at. Takes a bit of time to deconstruct. So I'm just taking several aspects of Maya, because that's how I organize my communication, and this aspect of Maya are explored together. I like the word exploring, because that's it's not we are not building a muscle, a spiritual muscle. It's nothing to do with that. It's just to have honesty, and that's really important in a safe environment where even if you think you're going crazy, it's okay.
It's a good news.
Yeah, it's a good news. and then we explore. Okay, if Maya says, for example, I am the doer of my action. I am the one who decides. Okay, let's look at it and try to deconstruct that. Try to make sure that all or most of the aspects have been seen through, and in this seeing, the representation, this specific representation of Maya might disappear totally. That's what happens. And then there might be another one and another one and another one. But, the good news is that there are not thousands. It's, in my experience, it's about, like, let's say 10 different ways, and 3 the most
dense.
The most dense. And if they are, it's like an equilibrium. You see it Maya stands, but you start removing things, and it starts, crumbling down, and then you don't have to spend your whole life, just a little bit, so that the whole myth, the whole this representation of a world full of me and you and people
others Yeah, and
Yeah,
time.
just all that crumbles down, and it can happen anytime. And in workshops, it happens, funnily enough, at different times for different people. I mean, different participants that they have obviously a different context. So the resonance happens at a different place. And sometimes very early in the workshop, you know, in the first few minutes or hours, and sometimes at the end, and sometimes it stays, you know, and like I say, you guys, I put a lot of small worms inside you. They are
And
eating
they
from
eat you.
inside. They're going to eat you.
Yeah. Wow.
And then 6 months, 1 year, 2 years after, they just then, okay, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And then,
It's
you
so
see,
obvious. Yeah,
yeah,
beautiful. I also, something which I noticed that is happening when we gather in person, even in Zoom meetings, but in person is much more palpable.
yeah,
Something happens beyond words.
sure.
There is
Yeah.
something which, I don't know what is that. Life itself is presenting. Because if there is a doubt here and here there is no doubt,
Yeah.
the doubter disappears.
Yeah. There is a resonance in that safe place, actually, and there's a simplification, and there's a relaxation.
Exactly.
And when I'm talking about
And
relaxation,
calmness.
it's not about only the body; it's also existential relaxation. And this contraction is gripping the definition of myself.
Yeah. So this what happens, what may happen on a gatherings like that. So I would say that everyone should follow their resonance to their
Yeah.
impulse. If
Yeah.
there is curiosity, go in that direction.
Yes.
Sign up
Yes.
for a weekend, for a day, for a week, for whatever.
Yeah.
This is why we from last year we start offering something, come and live with us, and friends are coming. Yeah, now we are renting a big house, big, like a 3-bedroom house, and we are opening a space for those who are curious.
That's a very different format. Huh? That's
Yeah,
really
it is.
that's
It's like
unusual. That's unheard of.
yeah, this is how it flows like that today, like these days.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, so many possibilities, and okay, that's the part of the so-called communication with a guide. I'm not even. It's not a teaching. I don't
No,
like
it's not a
calling that
teaching
it's
at
a
all.
teaching. It's a guidance. But guidance can come also from the tree, from the wind, from the silence,
Everywhere.
from anything. So you see, so it's just one of the options that, but it's not all the options. Yeah.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
So true. Oh, I'm so waiting to meet you in person somehow. I don't know when you. Yeah, such a joy is to just to have a glass of wine and to
Oh yes,
cherish
that
life.
we can do.
So this would be probably in the spring, right? You said April.
Yeah,
Or something.
we'll be arriving end of April. So we'll keep in touch by email and
For
organize
sure.
for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I would love to join one of your meetings just to
Okay. Yeah.
just
But the thing
to
is, right now they're all in French, so you
exercise.
will have to
Yes,
learn a bit more French.
this is what I wanted to say. To exercise my poor French for now. Lovely. I will put everything in the description, your website, and any information you would like to be there. And yeah, lovely to sit with you, Didier. It's such a joy.
Yeah, it's a joy to. I mean, we're playing, you know, and
Yes, but
that's
there is this lightness. I cannot explain it. Like we don't know each other, and it doesn't. We don't have to know each other.
no, because we know each other, because we know really who we are. That's the thing. So this Luchana or Didier, they're just, you know, like appearing, oh, beautiful, but that's not the point. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah,
Take
thank
care.
you for spending this time together.